What's up, guys? This is Coach Amir from sevenfigurebody.com. For the last 16 years, I've been helping entrepreneurs get in top shape. And today, we're going to talk about, does more protein preserve muscle in a deficit, and exactly how much protein should you have when you're actually losing weight and getting in top shape? So guys, you probably heard everything in this industry is about extremes. Everybody's on the extreme. One extreme of the how much protein you should eat is the regular recommendations by the authorities that is 0.4 grams of protein per pound of body weight. So 200-pound guy, 80 grams of protein. Way, way, way too low. You should definitely have more than that. That is insufficient for almost everybody. On the other hand, you have the opposite extreme of professional bodybuilders, gym bros, and people trying to build muscle. They're like, just eat all the protein, bro. 2 grams of protein per pound, totally fine. And this is way, way, way too much. As usual, the truth is right there in the middle. Because the extremes, the body doesn't like extremes. Almost never does it like it. So how much protein should you have? Somewhere between 0.7 to 0.8 grams of protein per pound of body weight. That's it. So let's say you weigh 250 pounds, just go 0.7 times that. That's how many grams of protein you should have. For vast majority of people, this will be the greatest, best, probably closest to optimal starting point is 0.7 times your weight in pounds. That's all there is. Now, another thing that determines how much protein you should have is the leanness level. The more overweight you are, the less protein you need. The leaner you are and less body fat you have, the more protein you need, because the chance of losing muscle on a caloric deficit is higher the leaner you are. So for example, let me give you an actual real world scenario of one of my clients. Started at 250 pounds. Here's a picture. I had him at 0.7 grams of protein times that. So 0.7 times 250. That's how many grams of protein we started at. Today, a year plus later, he weighs 188 pounds. He is very, very lean. Six pack is, it's getting there. We're almost in a few weeks from now, it's going to be completely shredded. Now he's eating 1 gram of protein per pound, because that is the range that you should always be. Probably 99.999% of your life, this will be more than enough. 0.7 to 1 grams of protein, that's it. Why? Because the studies have shown that over 1 gram of protein is almost never, ever, ever, ever needed, unless somebody's a professional physique model or a bodybuilder or something, which most of us are not. We're entrepreneurs, so we don't do that. But it is really not necessary. If you eat more than that, it's not necessarily bad, but it's just completely unnecessary. You oxidize those calories from that protein just like you would if you got the same calories from fats or carbs. So there's no point in them. In plain English, you cannot force feed muscle. You can't be like, I'm gonna work out and then eat 300 grams of protein today, I'll build more muscle. You do not. There's literally a threshold after which, once you've reached that threshold of protein consumption, more than that doesn't do anything for building more muscle. Many, many reasons, but physiologically, there's a limit to how much muscle you can build at, per week, per day, per month, whatever. And then there's a certain amount of protein that provides that. Over that doesn't do anything. So the leaner you get, so let's say you start today and you are 30% body fat, right, as a male. In that case, you absolutely do not need much. Even 0.6 grams of protein times your weight in pounds would be totally more than enough. And actually, for all of this, there's one study that came out recently where they took British soldiers, they put them on a 12 weeks of deficit, and they measured different groups based on how much protein they fed them, right? So a bunch of groups had from 1.2 to 1.7 grams of protein in different amounts, and then the other group, which is like the actual control, had 2.1 grams of protein per kilo of body weight. So basically almost double the protein compared to the lowest group. Guess what? Body composition, the amount of muscle, all the health parameters, absolutely no difference between them whatsoever. So what they found truly was there is the maximum amount of protein that your body can use and actually utilize and make muscle out of. Beyond that, there's nothing you will do, nothing that you will accomplish by eating more. Now, a couple of caveats here. One, there's nothing wrong with eating. Let's say you said, hey, I'm now 30% body fat. I only train twice a week in the gym. but I really want to have 1 gram of protein per pound. That's okay. It's not a big deal, meaning it's not going to do anything bad. The only issue with that is the more protein you eat, you get fewer total calories because your total calories are, there. You can't get more. So you're in a deficit, losing body fat, and you have a certain amount of calories. More protein you eat, the less fats and carbs you get to eat. Because protein is very satiating but doesn't really taste as anything, carbs and fats are usually what tastes great in generally. If you think about your favorite foods, it's probably not chicken breast, right? It's probably something that's high in fats or carbs or both. So they give food taste and kind of allow you to stay and stick to your diet, stay on a diet and stick to it for long enough until you get to your desired weight and fat percentage level. And if you have more protein or too much protein, how are you going to get your fats and carbs? They're going to get very, very low. Makes it much harder to stick to the diet. On the other hand, the number one thing that I can give you, the tip when it comes to losing body fat and sticking to the diet, is have leaner proteins, such as poultry, lean fish, leaner red meat, white fish, no fat or low fat dairy, and egg whites, for example, instead of eggs. Have most of your protein come from that, and then add a lot of vegetables because they're very, very voluminous, very low in calories, and are going to keep you fit, keep you full for many, many hours, so you won't be that hungry. In that case, when you have, for example, 3 meals a day, and 2 meals are, for example, a bunch of egg whites and 1 egg for protein, and then a bunch of broccoli, low-fat cheese with that, it's a very high protein, low calorie breakfast. And then let's say you have lunch that is 8 ounces of chicken breast and a bunch of vegetables. At night, you can pretty much have anything you want, especially if you've done your steps for the day, if you're working out that day, you can pretty much have anything you want, whether it be high carb, high fat, whatever type of protein you want, even if it's fattier, you can all still fit into that. You can fit all of that into your total allotment for calories for the day. So generally speaking, please remember that you cannot force feed muscle by just eating a ton of protein. And of course, the one exception to this is steroid-filled bodybuilders, because we know that being on steroids does raise somebody's ability to use more protein to build more muscle, simply because everything they do is supraphysiological, meaning beyond the normal physiological level. In that case, can a professional bodybuilder who's on all the steroids in the world benefit from more than 1 gram of protein per pound? Yes, very likely they can, even though in that case, it's also not that huge. It's not like, yeah, they can just eat 2 grams of protein and become a 1,000-pound monster. We know that doesn't work that way, but 1.2, maybe 1.3 grams for them. How's that relevant for you, an entrepreneur who has a business, a family, a life, social occasions, kids, like all of these things that you want to enjoy, and not just eat freaking, 16 ounces of chicken breast 3 times a day, which is what they have to do a lot of times. Like, that is not relevant to us at all. So please remember, you need way less protein than, the fitness world would have you believe, but you also do need more protein than the regular person eats. And I can guarantee you that like 99.9999% that you currently today do not eat enough protein. Meaning, if you just go 0.7 times your weight and then track how much protein you actually eat per day, very likely going to see that it's not there. It's less than that. And that's the number one thing you should do when I coach my clients. This is the first thing that I do with them. They start eating more protein. So guys, hope you like this video, find it useful. Click the link below if you want to get completely free, bunch of awesome goodies, A to Z process on how I transformed over 1,200 clients so far in the last 16 years. The process is there for free. Just let us know where to send it. We're going to email it to you right away. And if you have any comments or questions, put them in the comments below. I would love to see how I can help you answer them and assist in any way. So thanks for watching. See you next time.